And we're back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are now going to talk about tonight's big NFC matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks. So there's some injury news. Well, not really injury news. Well, actually, yes. Yes and no. Because Jalen Hurts is questionable for this game, dealing with an illness. So his status is kind of up in the air for this game. I know last time I checked it said he was questionable, so I'm just gonna see if there's any updates here on that. So this is it says Jalen Hurts downgraded after illness worsens, but that's from 23 hours ago. Still says he's questionable, so we'll see. But it says illness worsens, so who knows? So he might not. It says he was the non-participant in Saturday's practice, so that is not good. That is not good because now, and it doesn't look like Geno Smith is going to play it. So I saw it said it's going to be an uphill battle for him to start tonight. So we might be seeing Marcus Mariota versus Drew Lock. So that'll be fun. But this is a big game for both teams. Both teams are on losing streaks right now. Both teams lost to the Cowboys and the 49ers. Unfortunately for the Seahawks, at least for the Eagles, they played the 49ers once. The Seahawks had to play them twice in a span of 3 weeks. So the Seahawks are trying to get back on the right track. But it's, hasn't been good recently. With Geno Smith, now him dealing with his groin injury. Jalen Hurts dealing with an illness. So, we'll see what happens. But, this is gonna be an interesting game, and also, so the Eagles, they made Matt Patricia now their new defensive coordinator. So we'll see if that changes anything. But Darius Slay's not playing in this game tonight. He was ruled out. So the Eagles secondary, which hasn't been great, is taking even more hits. So we'll see what ends up happening here. But yeah, so. So Zach Cunningham, he's out, one of their linebackers. Jalen Hurts didn't practice. Darius Slay's out with a knee injury. Geno Smith, so he practiced in a limited fashion on Friday, but who knows if he's going to play. Witherspoon, their rookie, did not practice on Saturday, so he's questionable for this game. So both teams are dealing with injuries here, and you look at the league rankings for both of these teams. So the Eagles are 15th in passing yards per game. The Seahawks are 13th in passing yards per game. The Eagles are 9th in rushing yards per game. The Seahawks are 28th. The Eagles are 7th in points per game, and the Seahawks are 18th. And then defensively, Eagles are 30th against the pass. Seahawks are 26th. In rushing yards, when it comes to stopping the run, the Eagles are 7th. And the Seahawks are 23rd, and then points allowed. Eagles are 28th, Seahawks are 25th. This game is in Seattle, so that does help the Seahawks out a lot. But yeah, this team, both teams are struggling. The Seahawks at one point, they were riding high. They were looking good, and then they lost to the Rams, they lost to the Niners, the Cowboys, and then the Niners again. So yeah, they're on a 4-game losing streak. That win against the Commanders was in mid-November, and that seems like a long time ago because since then they're 6-7 now, and they're on the outside looking in of the playoff picture. They really fell off, and they're a half game behind the Vikings, the Rams, and the Saints for those wild card spots. So they need this win tonight. Well, both teams need this win tonight because the Eagles right now, they're a half game up on the Cowboys, in the NFC East. But they lose this game, and it's going to go right back to the Cowboys for having the lead in the division. So, and now both teams are going to be possibly without their starting quarterback. So it's not good. It's not good. So, we'll see what happens there. But I have the Eagles winning. We'll see what happens. I have the Eagles winning. I did take the Seahawks with the 3.5 just because. Well, first of all, I actually didn't know if Geno was going to play or not. But now it seems like he's not going to. If it's saying it's going to be an uphill battle for him to start. But I mean, the Seahawks, they're at least at home, and Eagles. I mean, the Eagles' defense has not been good. Now, if they're able to put pressure on Drew Lock or whoever's, playing quarterback, then it's going to be a long night for whoever's playing quarterback. But if Drew Lock or Geno Smith, if they got time to throw, I mean, listen, you got Metcalf, you got Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba's been making plays in recent weeks. You got Kenneth Walker back. This offense has a lot of weapons. A lot of weapons on this team. So if they're able to have time and find the open man, it's going to be a tough night for the Eagles. And again, it's in Seattle. It's not an easy place to play. Now, the Niners made it easy on Thanksgiving, but that's because they're the 49ers. So we'll see what happens. If Mariota's got to come in and start, I mean, listen, Mariota's started plenty of games in the NFL. Obviously not the quarterback that a lot of people thought he was going to be when he, first got drafted. He's kind of bounced around a little bit. He was with the Falcons last year. Now he's with the Eagles. So we'll just have to see. And was he with another team before that too? I'm trying to remember. Because I know he was with the Titans, obviously, but was he with another team? I feel like he was. I could be wrong though. Let's see. Oh, that's right. He was with the Raiders. I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, he's kind of bounced around a little bit. So yeah. I mean, we just got to see. But if Jalen Hurts is not practicing, I mean, that's not good. I mean, we saw what happens with Mahomes when he was dealing with the flu, and now they played against the Broncos. So like, I don't know, but it's gonna be tough if he has to miss time, especially because this is a game. Well, at least miss this game because this game's on the road, and the Eagles they are on a 2-game losing streak, so. And I apologize for the barking. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. This game actually got flexed into Monday night. I don't know what the original game was supposed to be for this week. But yeah, so this game got flexed into Monday night. It's not a bad game. Except we might see two backup quarterbacks playing tonight. Well, guys that. I mean, at least like these guys once were starters. Mariota was longer than Drew Lock, but again, it's just going to be another one of those weeks with a backup quarterback. So, but it's a bit. But again, it's a big game. It's a big game. So just hope for a big game, and then we're on our way to week number 16. In the NFL next week, it's season is almost over, and then we're in the playoffs. So, I mean, these wild cards are just insane with the amount of you got 6 and 7 teams, 7 and 6 teams. I mean, it's wild. I mean, going into this week, I saw a post. It was like 30 of the 32 teams are still like technically alive for the playoffs. I mean, now that number's kind of dropped. There's now a lot of teams that got knocked out after this week, but that's just crazy. The amount of teams that are still in it, and we're in December now. But that's what that 7 seed does, So, that's why all these teams are still in it. So, But yeah, I mean, we just got to keep our eyes out for any reports on if Hurts is playing or not. Actually, let me see if I could see on because I just looked up on Safari, so let's see if anything on the fantasy apps. Well, I see that Marcus Mariota is trending up. Doesn't say anything on him. So let's see with Hurts. So with Hurts, under his player profile, yeah, it just says officially questionable. But yeah, he wasn't able to practice on Saturday. Again, it says the illness worsened overnight. So he traveled separately from the team. Yeah, so we'll see. And then as for Geno Smith, like I said, I know last time I checked it said uphill battle. Yeah, so 2 hours ago it says unlikely to play on Monday night. So yeah, then it's gonna be Drew Lock that's gonna start tonight. So I mean, at times he didn't look terrible against the Niners, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, listen, Seahawks have a lot of weapons, so they they got a shot, especially if Hurts is out. But both teams are desperate for a win. So I honestly don't know who's. I mean, if Hurts plays, I'd probably still pick the Eagles to win. Eagles probably win, but it's gonna be a really close game. It is gonna be a. Well, I shouldn't say it's gonna be a really close game, but I think it's gonna be a close game. Just as long as the Seahawks are, if Drew Lock has time to throw, and doesn't turn the ball over, then I think that this game could be close. But if the Eagles are able to put pressure on them, then I don't know how the Seahawks win this game. But I mean, listen, people have had their way with the Eagles secondary this year, and the Seahawks are at home, so they should be able to exploit the Eagles secondary. And there's no Darius Slay tonight either, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So let me know what you guys think about this game. Who do you think's gonna win? But yeah, that's pretty much it with the show for today. We'll see what happens with this game tonight. Obviously, Week 15 after tonight is over, and then we get into fantasy playoffs have already started. I already got knocked out in 2 leagues. We'll see what happens next week with the other leagues that I made the playoffs in. Did get a big win this week, most likely, unless Devontae Smith, Tyler Lockett, and Jake Elliott all drop 50 points. So we're in good shape. So hopefully, I get my guys back next week. Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, please be healthy next week. I saw that there articles that they should shut down Keenan Allen for the rest of the year, which I understand, but for me, please don't do that, please. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, with that is all the time that we have for today. I thank you guys for watching. Try to have the show up into the broken down segments by tomorrow, the latest, because we were seeing if we could we're trying to figure out how to get the show earlier without having to wait till YouTube's able to let us download it, but we'll figure it out. So until next time, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC football podcast. I almost said fantasy football podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day. Enjoy the game tonight, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.